Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Friday. No, it's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG review show.
Friday.
It's definitely not Friday. I think it was just wishful thinking it was a Friday there, to be honest. Definitely
Rebecca
not a
Black
Friday.
over here.
Yeah. Sean's attacking...
Gone over to the dark side.
Yeah. He's
Sorry,
gonna...
apologies. I'm having some camera problems. I'll get over it shortly. But at the moment,
It's what happens when he's attacking the Death Star. He's
well, just as a general rule, if your OBS says, "Do you want to update now?" about 5 seconds before you go live, just update later.
We say no.
We say no, not doing that. No.
Turn into my dad with like 45 update notifications and just never press them.
Yeah. So, Sean, you've turned your targeting scanners off. Is everything all right? Oh no. There you go.
There. I can change it for a second just for the purposes of saying yes, I'm here. But that's not the right camera.
Appear to be kind of glowing. Yeah. Anyway, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. It is the TNG review. We are back consigning another episode of Star Trek The Next Generation to our vault. And I'm joined this evening by my co-hosts, Mazman Bob, Tavikins Turner, and Chief Sean. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Just going around the room then for this week's introduction, starting with Mazman Bob. How are you doing?
I am doing very well, thank you. Having a fairly relaxing week, which is good. My one of my contracts is winding down, so I've only got about 5 days of work left to do over the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'm having a fairly easy time of it at the moment.
What a nice...
Obviously means less money coming in, but
easing yourself into Christmas.
I worked hard over the summer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't mind having most of December off.
That's all right, isn't it? That's not bad.
Set me up with some new work in the new year. Thank you very much.
Very nice, very nice. And Tavikins, how's your week been?
Oh, doing all right. Stressful week with 2 small children, but it's going. Stressful in a good way.
Are they adorable as ever?
Yeah, swimming classes and all this other stuff.
All that fun stuff.
Trying to get to everything on time and not looking disheveled.
Trying to spin all those plates. And yeah. Sean, I don't know if you're there. How's your week been?
Yeah, I'm here. You just can't see me. Yeah, I'm having a very busy week trying to get 12 things done. I was so busy last week. I'm catching up on things this week. It makes sense. Sorry, I was doing a raffle for a show all week, so that kind of kept me busy. And back at it again. And next we have to go to the committee meeting, which is a great thing because my father can't be there, but that's the crack of it. But I was supposed to get a letter of offer last week, and they couldn't send it to me because the system couldn't recognize. Yeah, and they couldn't recognize my email because it has an apostrophe in it, and I specifically used my work email, and I'm getting the mortgage from my work, and they couldn't send it from one email of the bank to a different email of the bank. They were having severe problems, and that's delayed me getting the letter of offer out by a week over that.
Oh my word.
So, I contacted an old buddy of mine, and the person who's supposed to be dealing with my case has been kind of farting about with it for a week. Contacted a buddy of mine, and he fixed it in all of about 5 minutes. So, that's how my week's going. But,
stressful.
I'm kind of, just a spinning plate kind of week. Trying to get my day job, trying to get some other stuff done, and as I said, trying to get the house done and catch up on everything from last week. But I'm glad we're getting to the end of the week because the start of the week was a nightmare.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It's a stressful business buying a house, isn't it? It's stressful times.
It's more the fact I've just got a lot of other things on. But just before we get into it proper, a couple of things to mention. Today's the 60th anniversary of the shooting of John F. Kennedy. Everyone remembers where you were, apparently, but I don't, obviously. Tomorrow's Doctor Who.
I don't think any of us do, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, tomorrow's Doctor Who 60th anniversary. It almost never made it because of the shooting of John F. Kennedy. There was so much news footage about that, nobody watched Doctor Who, and it almost got cancelled after its first episode. And we've got the 60th to look forward to this weekend. So I am very excited about that. And Tavi finally finished Deep Space Nine, and she might finally start noticing some of the references I make, because up until now, not so much. So that's a good.
How was the end of Deep Space Nine? Was it good for you?
Her new boyfriend is Rom. I love baseball.
I liked it. It was all right.
Oogie. Yeah, it's kind of controversial, the ending, but it was good leading up to the end. I saw you say in Facebook chat there when you got to the kissing scene between Kai Golden Cuts.
It's like mega cringe fest. Oh no!
Oh no!
Well, the fact he used to bang Kira's mother is the other weird part. It's like
the ick.
And then, like, supposedly he knew from the start that was the other girl's daughter, and he was coming on to her from the moment he met her. It's like, his ex-mistress's daughter. It's like he decided to have a go off her as well. It's just like, oh no.
That's so gross.
Glass.
I'm literally.
Oh, thank you. Just was brought my plasma blood wine, courtesy of Vicky. Just passed it to me because I didn't have time to get it. So thank you very much. Yes.
I'm
using
a cup in honour of Sean today. I use my boat.
Oh yeah.
It's red wine, not Earl Grey hot.
And everybody in live chat, let us know how your week's going. How have you been this week? I see we've got good evening to Stuplum, to Andrew. Good evening to you, sir. I hope you're well. Good evening, Wookie. Good evening, Ruth. Good evening to you all. How's your week been? And have you got any blood wine this evening? What is your drink of choice on a Wine Wednesday? So, yeah. Let us know in chat.
Okay, sorry, I'm my OBS
Do we want?
is just gone crazy, so I'm just going to have to go old school. Right. Sorry, go ahead.
Do we want to put the bingo link into chat as well?
Oh, yeah.
Has it got comments that we may have?
Have we got a link to it somewhere? Is it?
Yeah,
oh,
Tavi's got the link.
Tavi, could you put a link in private chat to the bingo, and I'll paste it into live chat there. There it is. There he is. Okay, so let me just put that in there.
Off to a flying start with the bingos, by the looks of it.
Yes. Yes.
History.
So we have a bingo every week where we look at what Chief Sean's talking about this week, and if he hits some common themes, they come out on the bingo card, and you can get yourself some extra TNG points for the weekly quiz. So yeah, grab yourself a bingo card if you haven't already got one. Alrighty then. So this week's episode.
Did I see last week that Stu Plum has a bingo card now?
Oh, actually. Has he?
I think he got some points last week, didn't he?
Did he? Do you know what? Sure. If he did, we completely glossed over that point.
Yeah, I meant to mention it. I could have sworn. Was that true?
He did. He did get
yeah. Because for a long time we were trying to convince him to get bingo cards. He's finally got them, so that's nice.
Oh, that is nice. I just want a point of order for a moment. Sorry, I'm doing a bit of admin now on the fly a little bit. Sean, we need your score for Suspicions.
Oh, yeah.
We can't get along together without suspicious scores. Put it down for 4. Yeah, it's not a great one.
A 4.
I'm not alone.
No, so 2 5s, 2 4s. The average comes out at 4.6, which, yes, made it one of the lowest episodes of the season, along with Aquel and Rascals. Yeah, down there with those. So there we go. We completed that off from last week. I feel good about myself now. And right. So this week we are consigning to the vault episode number 23 of season 6, Rightful Heir. It's production number 40276-249. It's first aired in the US on the 17th of May 1993. It's the 148th episode to be both produced and released. The teleplay was by Ronald D. Moore, who we know so well. Is his 23rd of 29 writing credits. And the original story by James E. Brooks. His one and only writing credit for Star Trek The Next Generation. Directed by Winrick Colby. Winrick Colby. Or whatever, yeah. It's a kind of German name. It's German. It's his 14th of 16 episodes he directed for The Next Generation. I don't know, do we know anything about James E. Brooks, Maz?
No, not specifically.
Yeah.
I know about the story, in terms of what he wrote, but I haven't actually looked up any of his history or, writing.
We know his weaponry is significantly superior to James D. Brooks.
Yes.
The Picard season 3 joke for you.
There you go. Okay, there we go.
The weapons on the D are far superior.
Now, does that count as a...
If you click on him,
I would think so.
If you click on him in IMDb, it literally says he was known for being a writer of one episode on Star Trek The Next Generation.
That's better than being known for no episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If I wrote an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, literally, that's all I'd ever talk about. No one would hear anything from me apart from that.
Put it on my tombstone. That's fine.
That's it. That's all. I'm done. My all the things I needed to accomplish on this mortal realm have been completed. Yes. Anyway, there we go. Anything else about the production?
original story didn't really have Kahless. It was more about, you know, the clerics in the temple and, you know, kind of a Worf-based story. But it was Ronald Moore who decided to take it in a different direction and add in Kahless and kind of examine spirituality and faith in the 24th century. He thought that it wasn't something they'd really done so much. You know, obviously Star Trek's normally more about sciencey stuff rather than kind of religious-y stuff. Yeah, they obviously had to do quite a bit of rewrites, but it was generally thought of as, you know, coming across as a really good story once they'd gotten their, you know, their sort of brain straight on what they were going to do. Apparently when they first sort of did it, it was a little bit too on the nose, kind of, you know, Christ-like sort of second coming and all that kind of thing. But then they sort of modified it a bit so it had a slightly more kind of modern feel around it. But yeah, it's cool.
Sean, you're wearing shorts in November. That's pretty brave, I think.
I'm wearing them indoors.
In Ireland in November as well. That's pretty brave.
I normally have my webcam cropped, but I normally run it through OBS so I can do that. So yeah, you'll have to forgive the fact you can see my microwave. Anyway.
Peeping behind the curtains.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtains.
Yeah, pay no mind. Yes, it's a Klingon episode today, Ruth. It's one of those Klingon episodes. So, have we got a picture up? If we have, I'll share my picture with you. I've got the wheel spinner ready, so I've done that. Oh, look, almost a data picture right out of the back. That's not so bad.
Woo! Take a look at the back of his head.
Okay, so Riker and the day shift arrive on the bridge, and he relieves Data and the night shift, who have finished their duty. Data reports a very interesting evening due to the lateral sensor array performing 3 spectral analysis of the Alwanir Nebula. It sounds fascinating. Riker is sorry he missed all the excitement, but Data tells him that he will give him a full report so he doesn't miss out on anything, which Riker thanks him for. What's the chances that Riker's going to read that report? Yeah.
Slim.
Slim. Yeah. Data also reports that they are on their way to the Garaman sector, Warp 6, ETA 1 o'clock, or 1300 hours. As Data is speaking to Riker, he notices that Worf has not turned up for duties. They try to contact Worf, but the computer reports that he's in his quarters. So Riker takes a security team down there to find out what's wrong. Shall I linger on that picture at all? Take it in.
Ooh!
And it's gone. So, they break into Worf's quarters Sorry?
No, go ahead.
They break into Worf's quarters only to find Worf surrounded with candles, chanting something in Klingon. Riker's like, Worf, what the hell are you doing? And Worf's like, hang on, where's that picture?
His eyes are kind of a little bit
crossed out,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
he's in a deep state of Kalnorine.
Yeah.
I don't have a Stargate.
Should we all try to do Worf faces? Yeah.
Just try and stare at your nose. Like
that. There you go. Yeah. I wonder if everyone in the live chat is trying to do their own Worf faces right now. I like to think they are. I like to think they're all doing it as well. Yeah. So that was the end of our teaser, which means it's question time. Ruth was doing it. Thank you, Ruth.
God bless you, Ruth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. My questions go a little all over the place. How many episodes of TNG feature Ensign Tarragon? He's the ensign on the 60-year-old ensign on tactical. A12, B13, C14, or D15. And the bonus question: who is the first person we see already on the bridge? I'm not talking about walking onto the bridge. People that are on the bridge before everyone gets off the turbolift.
Okay, so
Jay and Riker and all those.
Questions.
Okay, Sean, you are freaking fired already out of the gate. What the hell?
Questions are
No
significantly
idea.
harder than last week. Okay.
I
Ruth,
don't have...
the extra on tactical. Sorry, that's what I'm talking about, Ruth.
What, Ensign Tarragon or the
Tarragon,
bonus question?
So he's the guy. He's the guy that we can see his torso.
Yeah, I think she's asking about the bonus question. Is it one of the main cast that you first see? But
could be.
Anyway.
Okay, I'm going to go.
I mean, it's definitely going to be someone you're going to be able to name.
Question.
Yeah, it's definitely be someone you're able to name. Put it that way. And I'm not talking about Riker because he's walking onto the bridge, not him.
Okay, it's a complete guess, but I'm going for that. There we go. Well, we got some different answers for the main question, so we're going to have some different. We're going to have a variation in points here, for sure.
I have very little.
Go on, sorry.
No, you carry on.
I was going to say, I figured just the first question, just to divide people up, would make it more interesting. Sorry, Mazik.
Yeah, it's good.
I was going to say I have very little in the way of trivias and goofs for the teaser, with only one, in fact, which is that this episode features the Kahless shrine in Worf's quarters for the first time, which is later seen again in the 7th season episode Firstborn. That's
cool.
About it.
Yep. All right, answers to the questions then, Sean.
Yeah, it was C14. This is his 13 of 14th episodes.
Well done, Stupler and Tavikins.
Yeah, the guy looks about 50 and he's somehow an ensign. I don't know how. And Data was on the bridge. He's sitting at ops. He's in the very first shot.
And I think that was all of us then for the wheel.
Yep, certainly
Tavi,
is.
Wookie, Ruth, Monty, Stupler.
When in doubt, choose C. And always, if I don't know, just put Data in there.
I need to stop putting things at C then, don't I?
No, you don't.
Right, I'm going to spin the wheel. Well done, Ruth.
Nearly, Monty.
Very nearly. I was holding my breath there, just willing it on. But yes, well done, Ruth, for the extra points. Act 1. Okay. So, Picard visits Worf and orders Worf to his feet because he's just lounging on his bed. On your feet, sir. And he stands to attention. He tells Worf he has crossed the line and let his personal life affect his work. Worf tells him how he has been feeling empty since he found the Klingons captured on by the Romulans, and when he taught them about Kahless and the Klingon stories, he's been trying to summon Kahless and reconnect with his spiritual roots. Is there a question about the Klingons that he found?
Nope. Boreth?
No?
No, not at all.
No, so yeah, I was going to say, and what episode was that from?
Birthright.
Yeah, Birthright Party. So, after he witnessed the power in the young Klingon's beliefs, and that he himself helped instill, he's now looking at his own beliefs and found them wanting. Picard asks if he has lost his faith in Sto-vo-kor, but Worf tells him you cannot lose something you never had. This is one of those rare instances in TNG where they talk about faith. it's not something that really comes up, is it? Talk a lot about it in Deep Space Nine, but up to now in Star Trek, it's not something they really go into.
Yeah, Gene died by now. That's why.
Yes,
Gene
I guess.
had like a no religion rule for a while, other than one episode of TRS where they did have a religion. They worshipped the Son of God. But outside of that, Gene had a no religion rule, but he's dead. So yeah, Deep Space Nine is on. Everyone can talk about religion all they want.
Yeah.
Jerry Taylor said that actually there was quite a lot of discussion amongst the writing staff about their views on faith and its place in the series. Gene Roddenberry was very much a secular humanist. They don't think that the story would have worked with anyone else other than Worf, because they didn't want to necessarily sort of have those human religion challenges brought into it, but by doing it with, a non-human species, it gave them a bit more creativity with what they wanted to do.
Yeah. So Picard, whilst he finds his actions inexcusable, he finds them understandable. He asks if there is a place where he could explore these things more fully, and Worf replies at Boreth, where devout Klingons await the return of Kahless. So, as it's only 12 days shuttle away, he grants him leave to go find himself. He tells him he hopes he finds what he's looking for. Isn't that a song lyric?
Yeah,
No.
you too.
Oh yeah, that's it. See, when I sort of
And I
I
still haven't found.
I haven't found what you're looking for.
Kahless.
So yeah, we see Boreth there, the monasteries of Boreth, and it's absolutely not a map painting by Dan Curry.
That was inspired by Tibetan. What was it? Hang on, sorry.
Himalayan.
Yes, sorry, Himalayan.
Guess what?
Himalayan, monk temples and things. What?
I have a picture of Dan Curry. That's Dan Curry with a painting he painted of some Himalayan monasteries that he painted. That inspired him to paint that. That painting he painted inspired him to paint that.
Cool.
It looks like he just cut and pasted the same photo, warped it a bit, and shifted stuff around.
And probably that is probably what he did for a lesser or greater extent.
Kind of from a different angle, like the little bridge thing is off to the left. Yes,
right, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so Worf is meditating whilst trying to summon forth an image of Kahless. He's doing his cross-eyed, I'm pushing out a poo look. And whilst chanting Torva Lukdashal, he has been working on this for quite some time. When one of his co-worshippers named Divok sees a vision of Kahless before him. Lucky bastard. Divok announces that Kahless is standing before him with a sword, and he wants something. He wants me! And one of the priests, Korra, tells him that that's a powerful vision. His place in Sto-vo-kor has already been guaranteed, even at such a young age. Worf thinks, fluff this. Fluff all of you. I'm off. He goes and packs his bags. He's been at it for 10 days. And, he's kind of had it. Koroth goes to see Worf, and he asks Worf what the story of the promise is. And Worf outlines it's after Kalos installed the laws of honor, he decided to bugger off. And the Klingon people didn't want him to go, but he told them that they need no one but themselves. He is off to Sto-vo-kor, but he promised to return and pointed to the star in the sky and told his people to wait for him there. And Koroth points out that this is the very star that this planet is currently now orbiting, and they have been waiting for 15 centuries. What's another 10 days for the son of Moog compared to that?
Can you imagine him bitching and Kai Wynn with the saltiest face looking at her be like, how long? How long have you been waiting to hear from your
10
guys?
days. I'm off.
Give me like 10 whole days, huh? Seven seasons.
Bajorans just open up a magic box and they talk to them anytime they want. So
They still could be a
they actually
freaking
can
man.
talk to their gods.
Yeah. So that's what you get when you you've eaten too much gak. That's funny, Tabby. I like that. I might just where is it? I might just move that one to the back, so I've got that one on hand. So I like that picture. There we go. So there you go. There we go. Okay. So yes. Yes. Is the son of Moog so easily discouraged? If you can't hope in his heart to Kahless, then he should go. Overall, Koroth does a great piece of reverse psychology on Worf there, and makes Worf stay, feel a bit ashamed of himself, and realizes, you know, he needs to give this more of a chance. So he goes back to the fire and the cross-eyed chanting, with Divok there, the lucky bastard, attending the fire and making sure it don't go out. Tova
Do you know who
looked a
Divok
shell.
is? The actor.
Nope.
Have you seen Nashville?
Nashville. Nope.
No. It's a musical series about, you know, music. But yeah, he's one of the main characters in that, called Deacon Claiborne.
Oh.
I was just a bit surprised because I like that series. I was like, oh my god, it's Deacon. If you haven't seen it, it makes no an iota of difference to you then.
Anybody?
No, just me.
No, just you. Did he have the little moustache? The little, like, you know, the sort of
No,
70s porn star moustache? No?
He did definitely not.
Oh.
But
no,
he's got
okay.
out of a voice and plays guitar.
Guitar. He does strike me as a kind of guitar playing kind of guy, to be fair.
A guitar playing Klingon.
A guitar playing Klingon. That I would like to see. Anyway, yes, Worf's gone back to his cross-eyed chanting, Tuvok looked a shell. But amazingly, this time it works. Kahless does appear. And that surprises Divok, because he sees him as well, and I have a feeling that Divok was just pretending before. But now Kahless has actually appeared. Crikey! Divok goes and runs to tell the rest of the priest contingent that Kahless has arrived. And as the other Klingons arrive, Kahless declares, I am Kahless. I have returned. His voice didn't quite have the thunderous baritone that I thought Kahless would have, you know? I was expecting, I am Kahless, you know? I have returned. And it's more like, I am Kahless. What is that voice? But anyway.
Definitely overwhelming.
Yeah. But it is a fabulous fur coat.
So
It is. Yeah.
He's so short.
Yes, he is. He is. He's not a tall Klingon, is he? But,
Nothing about him is like iconic other than that fur coat.
That was the end of Act 1. So it's question time.
Sorry, Joan Sweet.
He's in the middle of eating.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sean. Join us to talk
Joan
about
Sweet.
stuff.
No, I'm done now. How many days was Worf there without a vision? A10, B11, C12, or D13?
I may have mentioned it.
You may have mentioned it, yeah. And as seen on Discovery, what kind of crystals are found on Boreth?
Come on.
It's a really stupid answer, I will say. When I say it, you're gonna... When I tell you what the answer is, you're gonna go off or fix it. You'll remember it when I say it to you, if you don't remember already.
I don't watch Discovery, so no idea.
I'm going to go with Tavikin's answer because that's the only type of crystals I can think of.
The only type of crystal I can think of is like dilithium. They make them, don't they?
Well,
No, they find them.
Anyway.
oh, I've got to.
Actually, a completely different plot point on Discovery, where all the dilithium in the universe is shattered and there's none left.
Anyway,
one alien kid managed to like psychically get rid of all the dilithium in the entire galaxy.
Yeah, he had childhood trauma, and this wave exploded out of his head, and it blew up all the dilithium, and all the ships with dilithium exploded, and the whole universe kind of fell apart. Like all Mad Max.
That's right. Yeah.
It sounds like
this is where Discovery has gone. It's awful.
Yeah, I'm not glad that I don't. I am glad that I don't watch it.
Crystal.
It's okay. It's over soon.
Crystal Karen, yes, Stuplum.
And Wookiees put in the correct answer.
Very good. Yeah.
So I have quite a lot of tribs on stuff for this act. Not so much later on, but so you mentioned about his visit to Karaya 4 in Birthright.
Yes.
So the thing is, at that time, I do believe that he told a bit of a fib about Karaya 4 in order to preserve the honor of the people there. He said something like, "Oh, they'd just been stranded there for a little while, and they required transport off of there," rather than. But now he's sort of saying to Picard about these people there and how he had to teach them all about their faith and all that kind of stuff. So he sort of almost has caught himself in a bit of a lie.
Yeah, because like, when was this again? When was this again? What was that?
Yeah.
Was that in the log? I don't remember reading that.
What? Yeah. Also, Torva Lukto Shell. Do you know what it means?
Torva Lukto Shell. No.
It means forthcoming. So yeah, they're waiting for Kahless to come forth.
I'll have to add that to the Klingon.
Translate a few things throughout.
I'll add that to our Klingon dictionary.
Yeah. Koroth is played by an actor called Alan Oppenheimer, who also plays a character called Captain Keo in Deep Space Nine, who's the one who goes off to try and rescue Sisko when he's been captured by the Dominion.
Wow.
So we do see him as a human as well. And Kahless actor Kevin Conway has not been in any other track, so I did look him up though. There's actually a cut line from an episode where Data revealed that Kahless's death occurred 1,547 years prior, but I think Koroth anyway says something like 1,500 years, so it still sort of stays in the script even though they cut it from Data's script. I think that's about it for that act.
Did the actor that played Koroth, did his uncle have anything to do with atomic bombs?
You're Oppenheimer. No, I don't think so.
I know, Chewie had a little bark there in the background, didn't he? I don't know who he was barking at. He's barking at his mummy for some reason.
Oh
no, it's Alex is home from Mai Tai. That's what it is. There we go.
He's in the house.
Yeah. What's that? Who's at the door? Oh, it's Alex. It's all right. Okay, answers to the questions then, Sean.
Yeah. So it was 10 days, and it was time crystals. And yes, that is the stupidest idea in all of Trek, time crystals. But Discovery introduced it. They even used it again in Strange New Worlds. Although the episode was great, the one where they redid Balance of Terror with Pike and Control. Great episode. Just touched the time crystals. That was stupid.
The episode in Discovery where they had the time crystals is so painful that you literally are sitting there going, no. It was, to me, it was so bad. It took you way out of the episode. Like, excuse me, what? They're called time, not even temporal crystals, just straight up time crystals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so stupid it's stuck in my head, and that's why I made a question out of it. But the episode they used it in Strange New Worlds is a great episode. They remake it, original series episode, but with Pike instead of Kirk. Fantastic. But the stupid part was using the time crystals. That was just cringe.
So, who have we got with time crystals then? It's just
you and Tammy.
That's bad news, isn't it?
Come on.
Make
copies, make copies.
Oh no! Oh no!
Some people don't know the laws of probability.
Ah!
Come on! Boogie, 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 boogie.
Hey! Tabby won! Phew!
With that, Tabby takes the lead with 70 points.
Andy the new
done
guy.
Andy.
On 60.
Hi,
Andy. Stealth Andy Steve is normally a Monty Zone watcher.
Yes,
So he's just
yes.
looking and say hi, but has to go back to work.
Andy,
Nice to see you, Andy.
not this Friday, but next Friday, we'll have another Monty Zone coming at you. Not this Friday, next Friday. It was going to be this Friday, but I'm going out for my cousin's birthday, so it's going to have to be next Friday. But yes. Thank you for popping by, though, Andy. And if you push that like button, thank you even more. So, yeah. I hope you are well. Check out Andy's channel, actually. He's got some good videos about, like, wild camping and things. There we go. Okay. Act 2. Get to the next picture. There we go. So, as Boreth enters the chamber, Kahless picks up his batleth and proceeds to tell them the story of how he created it. He went to a volcano and cut off a lock of his own hair. He thrusted it into a river of magma, and then he plunged it into a lake. He twisted the remnants into the sword you see before you and named it the batleth. Yes. May the force be with you. Yeah, not quite the right show, Andy, but I love the sentiment. Yeah.
I love a batleth.
You love a batleth. You love a batleth.
I'm getting so excited about Christmas.
I don't know why. You can't possibly know why.
No.
Oh, he's
I
told
might not be
me.
getting a batleth. But he told me, I asked for it. I specifically had to find like a good quality, the right size one, and he wouldn't have had a clue what to look for.
I was quite impressed. I was like, wow, that's an amazing idea. How did I didn't know this was an order. Okay. Right, so Boreth confirms that the story is only known by the high clerics and was never written down, so that when Kahless returned, they would be able to verify who he was. Boreth and the other clerics are convinced, so they start chanting their praise for Kahless. As they chant, they all kneel before their god, except for Worf, who stands solemnly looking pretty skeptical at the back. Oh, Worf.
As anyone with common sense would. Can you imagine if someone just showed up in the street and said, "Hey, I'm Jesus"? Be like, "Oh yeah? Ah, okay."
I've seen him. He's on TikTok. Yeah. So Kahless goes... Yeah. He does live streams and that is great. So Kahless goes to visit Worf and he uses his tricorder, confirms that Kahless is indeed at least Klingon. Kahless like, duh, pointing to the ridges on his head. But Worf points out he could be a shapeshifter or a holographic projection. But no, he is actually Klingon. Or he could be a clone, just saying, you know, of the possibilities. Yeah.
Can you imagine him saying you could be this or this, and Kahless is like, "What the hell are those things?"
What's a hollow what? A hollow what? Yeah. Kahless tells him he appeared to him in the caves of Momat when Worf was still a boy. But Worf is still skeptical. He wants to believe. A bit like Mulder, really. Kahless notes that at least him wanting to believe, that is a beginning. Later, the Klingons throw Kahless a party. Though Kahless notices Worf is still his usual skeptical self and expresses his frustration at Worf's skepticism. Worf said, "It is honourable to question and not take things for granted, as that is the beginning of wisdom." But Kahless replies that a leader does not have to answer questions. A real leader commands obedience. If he says die, they die. Worf replies that if a true leader it's only if a true leader is worthy. And so Kahless takes that as a challenge. It's good, isn't it? He looks pretty good in that scene.
I'm just going to say, I know I just shat all over the Discovery Klingons, but the kind of Discovery Klingon look is very much, the kind of top he's wearing is very much in that style. That might be where they got it from, because it's kind of the closest thing I can think to their way of dressing that I've seen in 90s Trek.
Yeah, but I mean, their Klingons are way different looking.
Yeah.
I mean, they're purple for a start.
Oh, they're all sorts of weird colours. It was just an awful idea.
So, yes, Kahless has taken this as a challenge and engages Worf in combat. It's all pretty equal, but just as they're getting into it, Kahless surprises everyone by laughing and accuses everybody of not getting into the spirit of it. Fighting's not just for spilling blood, but also for enriching the spirit. And then leads them all into chanting, "We are Klingons," which is
Worf is standing in the back like, weren't we just fighting?
Yeah.
What happened?
How did this turn into a drinking song? I don't know. But it's funny because usually he's quite up for "I am Klingon," but not today.
My first skepticism was actually here. Be like, why you try to pull this into a draw? Why you stop the fight? Huh? Let's get on. Finish up the fight. Everyone else would be skeptical for like logical reasons. Mine is like he didn't want to brawl. He tried to stop a brawl.
He's just backed out of it, isn't he? He's just weaseled his way out of a potential embarrassment.
The fight should either end in death or one person yielding. There really shouldn't be the opportunity to do that.
Don't turn it into a football chant. No.
Green Army. Green Army.
Exactly. Yeah. So they all get into the whole "We are Klingon" chanting, apart from Worf, who just looks on with general confusion at the back. I'm thinking that must be a chant from Mr. Tavikins in chat there, but I don't know what it is.
That's the guy over Kahless' head, general confusion, is it?
Yes.
But a bunch.
Hang on. There you go. And it is the end of the act and question time.
Okay, so first question. What does Worf state is beginning wisdom? No options for that, it's too easy. And what 3-word phrase does Kahless start as a chant?
Okay, I think I might know the answer to this. Any trivia or goofs?
Yeah, just going to put my answers first. Yes. So, the throne for Kahless was especially constructed for this episode, featuring, I don't know if you got a picture of it, for the first time, a new variant of the Klingon emblem, which is red on a yellow field rather than red on a grey field. I don't know if you've got a picture of the throne up there anywhere.
I don't think. No, I don't think I have. We will have later on, but I haven't at the moment. It's just out of shot there. It's just out of shot, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's in the background here. It's in the background here, but it's blurred. You can't really see it.
And also, one of the things that so when he talks about the story of the Bat'leth, the high clerics say that, it was a test. And then this is just another translation. They say, Vorcha do Bach, which means all hail. So they say, Vorcha do Bach, Kahless, Vorcha do Bach, Kahless. So it's all hail Kahless, all hail Kahless. And there's something which some people might have thought was a goof at one point, because obviously we later find out, as Duplum put in chat, that he's a Clonion, not a Klingon.
A Clonion. Clonion.
And obviously his memories are implanted. So how on earth would he have been able to know that he had appeared to Worf, in his childhood dream? But it's sort of later revealed that Boreth explains that it was deliberately staged Kahless's return to mimic Worf's dream to make him believe. So, this encounter would be amongst the memories that were superimposed onto Kahless. So that's not really a proper goof.
No.
I think that's about it for that act.
I don't know if this is in the official trivia.
1, 2, 3. Stuplum still needs to answer, I believe. Although I don't have all messages switched on. Yeah, just waiting for an answer from Stuplum.
He just put it in there. I don't know if this is the official trivia, but obviously before it was explained away in Enterprise why they have different foreheads between the original series and the 90s series, and then of course messed up again by Discovery. But we could always point out that Kahless was obviously from 15 centuries ago when he had the bumpy forehead, so that was the default. So it was the TOS that was the outlier, and so that kind of it ruled out a lot.
Gotta say though, that episode, that DS9 episode, Trials and Tribulations, was just one of the best episodes. Just so good the way they did it. The way they interweave the two stories. I mean, it won all kinds of Emmys, but it's good. Just one of the best episodes of Star Trek ever, in my opinion.
What did you think, Tavi? Because you must have seen it recently. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I really liked it. I really liked it.
Over there and over there.
Yeah.
And then they all look at Worf, and he's like, "We don't like to talk about it."
Well, I saw on
it's some kind of genetic mutation.
I saw on Twitter recently enough there was kind of a jokey, or was it Reddit? I saw a jokey conversation anyway, pointing out that obviously we're coming up on the 60th anniversary of Trek in 3 years, and you could do a 30th anniversary special of The Trouble with Tribbles and call it The Trouble with Tribbles, and insert Strange New World characters or Lower Decks characters back into the DS9 episode if you really wanted to. But we don't know what they're going to do for the 60th, but obviously they're going to do something good. We have a more important 60th coming up this month, so focus on that for the moment.
One of my favourite moments is a little thing, but it's when they're in the grain silo and they're scanning the tribbles.
Yes.
They're just absent-mindedly throwing the tribbles over their shoulders, and it's timed with the exact looking tribbles as they're falling on Kirk's head from above.
Yeah, and the colours match.
The colours match. So it's just it's beautifully done. It just looks like spot
Cisco
on.
throws the grey one, a grey one lands on him. Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I love that. Very good. Okay, answers. Okay.
Sorry, I was just going to say, and even when Jadzia is explaining the rate of multiplication, how many she estimates, and then Spock repeats the same thing.
Exactly the same as
the two scenes in audio sync with each other, and the timing correct between the two. So good. He states asking questions. Ruth puts skepticism perfectly fine, and is beginning wisdom, and we are Klingons is the chant, which I think is a fairly lame chant, but anyway, that's what they've gone for.
So, do we all get "We Are Klingons"?
Yeah.
Tavi, me, Stuplum, and Maz. Okay. Oh. Bop. Is that right?
Yeah.
Stu, Ruth, Maz. Yeah, okay, spin the wheel.
Too much ball talk. What are you pair like?
Oh my god, it's Ruth again. Ruth again. Well, Ruth. Wow. She's a
Ruth
queen.
In joint second position now.
Queen of the wheel this evening.
No, I lied. Sorry. She is in second position, not joint second.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Act 3. I just put in a little shot of the D there because we haven't had much of a D shots recently.
Yeah, not enough D pics.
So,
I like the way they trimmed the bushes on the planet to make it look bigger.
Yeah. Okay. Kahless, Boreth, and Turin are all brought aboard the Enterprise and then be transported to Kronos to meet Chancellor Gowron. I imagine Picard taking Worf to one side when he comes aboard, and he said, "I know I sent you away to go find what you're looking for, but I didn't mean physically conjure up your god and bring him back to the Enterprise with you." He truly did go find what he was looking for. Gone to find Kahless. Oh, there he is. Anyway.
Reminds me of that Only Fools episode where Slater comes back and he goes, and I went to prison and I found Jesus. And Del goes, "Oh, is that where he was then?"
Which show was that?
Only Fools and Horses. It's a British sitcom. It's one you've not seen, I don't think.
No.
British institution.
It's one that hasn't aged very well, though. There's, some horrible kind of racism and homophobia and all sorts in it.
Race attitudes are a bit, but yeah, for the most part, it's all right. Yeah.
It is of its
time. I don't know if you missed it, but there was a "oh my" comment earlier where he was Sean was saying the camera was set so it would look bigger, and I'm like, did you guys
oh my.
Was that the D pic?
Yeah, the D pic. He's like the camera was shot in such a way to make it look bigger. It's like,
I think it's shot in a way to make the saucer look smaller, to be honest. I guess it makes the nacelles look bigger. Yeah.
What I was saying is they trimmed the bushes on the planet to make it look bigger. But anyway,
the bushes. Sorry, yes.
Okay, I must have...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Data, I'll take it.
Yeah.
What is that, 240?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's there in the background there. So, you're going to have to take that. Okay.
Checking out a bit of Crusher ass.
Yeah. In the observation lounge, the doc asks Worf if he's conducted any further scans other than the tricorder scan he got. Because he could be a replicant or a Klingon that's been surgically altered to look like Kahless or something like that. Or a clone. No, I mentioned that. Worf offers up the possibility he is Kahless. What if he is Kahless? And Data agrees it is consistent with the sacred Klingon texts. Riker's not convinced in these supernatural abilities, but Worf wants to keep an open mind. What about the Jedi Klingon? No, that's not right. Yeah. Picard Picard points out that investigating this or telling anyone what they should believe in isn't in their job description. They are just there to taxi the Kahless home to Kronos. They're just a taxi
As
service.
Supam says, he couldn't care less.
He couldn't care less. No.
That's nice.
Very good. Very good.
That was nice.
Data! As they leave, Data wants to know how Worf, without any further empirical evidence, will determine whether Kahless is who he says he is. Worf replies that it is a matter of faith. Data finds it interesting that Worf is willing to believe in the supernatural, as he himself, an android, can only believe in that which is scientifically proven. He would like to discuss this matter further, but Worf's like some other time, Commander.
Do you see the lovely shape those lips are making? Look at that. It's like he's saying...
Yeah. I like the angle, but the lighting is crap. You can see the shadow of the camera on Data.
It is pretty bad there.
If you want to see kissing, check this next shot out. This is the Klingon battle cruiser and the Enterprise. Getting a little bit cozy.
When I saw that, I was sorry. I said when I saw that, I was like, are they actually trying to dock into an airlock somewhere? It's like right up in the disc.
Gowron stood on his bridge there, watching Deanna sink another mocha latte thing in 10 forward. You know, she's sitting there in 10 forward, drinking her hot chocolate. He's like, "Oh, I can see you."
Do you ever notice how the ships are always orientated on the same plane?
Yes.
I mean, there's no up or down or left or right. So I mean, they should be coming at each other at all sorts of weird angles. Yet they always seem to be exactly perfectly level. Like there's a space north. Just once I want to see him go in all buckety and sideways, but never happens.
Yeah. No.
I do have a contradiction to that. I know like a lot of science people are saying there's no up, down, or left in space, but I'm always thinking, but there is though. Our galaxy is a disk. There's a top of the disk and there's a bottom of the disk. So there's at least an up and a down.
Well, within reason, but there's going to be a couple of degrees in latitude, you know, a couple of degrees left or right. They're perfectly 0 degree lined up, almost like they're hung on strings, and gravity is making them perfectly level with each other, which is pretty much
I guess
happening.
you can with that technology, just like whoop, 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 and just stay there. They did it for the one shot.
How do you know which is the top of the disc and what's the bottom of the disc?
Yeah, that's true.
Couldn't it be either way out?
It could be.
Well, maybe they just go with based on clockwise rotation, which way is north, I would imagine.
That is the way they determine it. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
If a human was designing it, that's the way you think.
Yeah.
Depending on which ship you come up to, if you don't recognize that ship, you wouldn't know which was the top or the front or the side of the ship. Because I didn't realize the Ferengi ship. I always thought that they were the back was the front and the front was the back. I was like, can you imagine me in a ship coming up to the back of the Ferengi thinking I'm talking face to face? They're like, oh, okay, this is the back. Okay, we don't have the schematics.
As a child, I always thought that with the ship from Blake 7. I can't remember what the name of the first ship in Blake 7 was called, but I always kept getting it the wrong way around. It seems to go backwards to me. Let me show you a picture. I'm going to show you a picture now. Hang on a minute. Sorry, I'm digressing, but now I've started this. I have
Liberator?
The Liberator, yes. Liberator.
Oh, I see what you mean.
That was me. That was Wookiee.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's like a Trina cell ship, kind of like the Phoenix.
Oh, yeah. Oh, not Corgi. Well, you can see it anyway.
That looks like a spaceship of dicks. What?
Hey?
That looks
I
like
never watched Blake Sevens.
Excessive dildo.
So you have to imagine that the pointy bits, that's the front.
Yeah, like a fighter jet. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And
like
this
an
bit,
X-wing or something.
these green bits at the back, that's actually the engines. So I always think that looks like the cockpit, and it should be going to our left, but actually the front of it is on our right.
I can see why you would think that, as I said, like a fighter jet, kind of it going into a point, like an aerodynamic thing.
Even these things seem to be swept. It seem to be swept back like wings, but actually they're pointing forward. You know, but yeah.
Yeah. Aerodynamically, it makes no sense, but in space.
No, but in space, it's all fine. But yeah, the ship looks like it's going backwards all the time.
That one definitely is not going to be approved.
I've never seen Blake 7, but I can tell you one thing about it. They didn't know how to end the series, so in the last scene, everyone just gets shot and died, so they just don't have to.
Spoiler alert! Jesus Christ!
It's only 50 years old, it's fine.
Yeah. It's literally
you
the
haven't
best.
seen it by now, you're probably not going to watch it, right?
That's true. That's true.
50 years, your spoiler buffers.
It's got possibly one of the best endings of any sci-fi show ever. It traumatized me for life. Yep, there you go.
It ended in December 81. I mean, it was over 4 years before I was born. I've never seen it on TV.
I saw it when I was like 7 years old, and I was seeing all my favorite characters, sat down to watch my weekly sci-fi show. They all got murdered. And then that was the end. I was like, Jesus Christ. But anyway.
All those movies from back then, if you look at them now, they are nothing but trauma-inducing movies.
Yeah. It would be like TNG ending with all good things, and in the very last scene, they all get gunned down on the bridge, and then the credits roll. It's like, what? That's what happens. Anyway, before they arrive at Kronos, Garon arrives in his Vulture-class battlecruiser. Do we know what Vulture means now? Because wasn't that a part of what you said a moment ago? Wasn't it like hail or something?
Hail, yeah. Or...
Yeah, Vulture though back is all hail. So, it's difficult. I mean, yeah, I do, wonder if Vulture is related to Vulture class, but you don't know which bit of Vulture go back means all or hail or, yeah.
Is even the all class battlecruiser or the hail class battlecruiser? Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, hail as in behold,
salute,
or be in awe.
Yeah.
Or salute,
revere, reverence. I don't know.
Revere, yeah. So you could say,
the revere
be
class,
in awe,
yeah, that sort of thing.
The impressive class.
Yes.
The bow down in front of me class.
Yeah, it does look a bit like that. Anyway, Garon is not happy. He is not a happy Klingon leader. He wants this imposter. He wants to see the imposter posing as Kahless. Garon wants to know what Picard has discovered so far about this imposter's true identity, but Picard's like, nothing. It's none of my business. I'm just transporting him. So Garon believes this concept of Kahless needs to be stopped now before it travels like a wave throughout the Empire, tearing it apart. Picard and Worf visit Kahless and inform him that Garon is aboard and intends to challenge Kahless's validity. He has brought aboard the Knife of Kirom, a sacred knife that is supposed to have the blood of Kahless on it. He will perform a genetic match, and Picard has agreed to be a neutral testing point. Kahless thinks this is a good opportunity to show those who do not believe, looking directly at Worf, that he is who he says he is. He will allow the test. In sickbay... sorry, go on, Tammy.
At this point, I almost want to wonder how they managed to keep a bloody knife in enough condition from over 1,500 years ago that hasn't decayed, that you can still use that on. It hasn't decayed. It hasn't been corrupted. It's just fine. You just keep using that.
It's actually mentioned in an episode of Voyager, the episode Lower Decks, because Neelix about to tell a story about it, how something like Impact the Fearless found the knife. And so apparently it was lost for a couple of centuries before that, so it wasn't even stored in optimum conditions. But future space magic tech, so who knows? Yeah.
They've had it stored in a transporter buffer or something, I don't know. So, yes, in sickbay, Dr. Crusher examines the knife and the sample from Kahless.
That was Voyager.
Yes, that's what he said.
Did you just say that was Lower Decks? It was Voyager.
He said an episode called Lower. He said it was an episode called Lower Decks in Voyager.
No, it wasn't called Lower Decks. It was called
Barge of the Dead.
The Haunting of Deck 12, I think it was. The one where Neelix is telling stories to all the kids to help them get through a blackout because they're all scared.
In my notes, it says it was called Barge of the Dead.
Oh, was it Barge of the Dead?
I think it was Barge of the Dead. I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
Like a man in orthopedic shoes, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I mean, my notes might be wrong, but yeah.
No. That makes more sense because that is a Klingon episode. But the only Klingon episode of Voyager.
Okay. So Neelix is Voyager and Phlox is Enterprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Daniel Billingsley. He's on Twitter. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, you found one nice person on Twitter, so well done. Yeah. Congratulations.
Well,
and you mentioned Twitter. That's another bingo.
I had a reason to contact him about something, and I don't want to go into details, but he responded to me. I won't mention their way.
We all want to know why now.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so the doc examines the knife. It looks like an old knife. And examines the sample from Kahless, and guess what? They are a perfect match. Gowron is shocked. What? That's Gowron's shocked face. And Worf is super happy. He's found his faith. He truly believes. Now he's got scientific proof that there's some scientific proof that Kahless is actually Kahless. I believe. I have faith.
Yeah, that's not what faith is.
I think he hasn't quite got the whole idea of faith, has he really, Worf? He doesn't really quite get it. But
he's thinking guess it would be nice if he could touch his body.
Yeah. Because he's got to have faith. I gotta have faith. Baby. Anyway. Question time.
So, whose knife did Gowron bring to the Enterprise D? A. Kang, B. Kor, C. Kolot, D. Kiron. And what class of vessel does Gowron arrive on? And again, I set these questions before everyone starts talking about it for 5 minutes. I don't know what you're going to talk about when I set these questions.
Fine, it's fine. The earlier ones were hard enough. Let's have some easy ones.
Yeah, well, it's nice to mix it up, but you have to throw in a hard one just to break it all up. You're not all on the same points the whole way through.
You have no idea how long I spent trying to figure out what was Gowron's flagship called. I was like, he's going to ask about the ship.
What is it called?
I don't know. I was like, oh man, okay, I know it's ship, but maybe he's got his ship has a flagship has a name, but I couldn't find it.
Well, if it's following human naval tradition and presumably it's his flagship, it could be the first of his class, in which case, we kind of know what the name is then, because obviously if the first of his class is what the class is named after.
Yeah. It's probably called the Vorcha.
That would be my guess, yeah. He'd take the first one for himself.
Yeah.
So, for some trivs on things, this episode is the final appearance of Gowron on The Next Generation. His next appearance is in the Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode, The House of Quark, which is where a Ferengi marries a Klingon to much amusing effect.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is a good one. Much of the lore of Kahless is revealed here, but it originated from Birthright. There was a lot of dialogue that was cut from Birthright Part 2. So they lifted some of that and reused it here when Ronald Moore decided to add the element of Kahless into this plot. And I think that's about it for this one, actually. Not very much trivs.
It was good actually hearing them call the Klingon homeworld Kronos, because I think in a couple of other TNG episodes, even though it was established in a Star Trek 6 that it was Kronos, they say, the Klingon homeworld or whatever, I think.
Yeah, well, it does go between Kronos and Konos, but I'm just presuming that's a different dialect of Klingon because... and the letters don't quite translate into English the right way.
It's like a Latinized version and a Klingon language version type thing.
Yeah, well, in my job, sometimes we have documents come through in, Cyrillic letters because we have a lot of Ukrainian refugees and stuff. And sometimes we would have a customer's account in one name and a KYC review in the same name but with a different spelling. And sometimes they don't always get matched because two different people translated them phonetically. Because, there's no direct way to translate from one to the other. You're just trying to sound it out with letters and all that. So it doesn't always fit. And that occasionally causes problems when we have to match them together. Part of what my boring job does.
Tabby says the Boreth is Gowron's flagship.
From the Orville.
I was waiting for Sean to say that. I thought we'd get a finger out of it.
Say something.
I would never
related.
mention that show. I did hear that. Well, I heard a rumor that apparently it was ready to go into production, and then the strike happened. So I don't know. It's not confirmed, but I kind of hope it's true. It's it's season 3. It's so good. Every episode is just gold. I miss the Orville.
Yeah.
I miss Boreth chewing cigarettes, and God, it's fantastic. Nothing in Star Trek compares to it in terms of quality, just consistent quality. Star Trek as a whole is better, and there's better episodes, but just in terms of consistency all the way through, it's great.
It is brilliant.
I'm going to have to have an Orville rewatch.
What was the character? Was it the race that the Bortus sounds like? Was it Bortus? Or is it the character name?
Bortus a member of Mocklins.
It's a Mocklin.
Who are kind of Klingons, but they're all male.
Yeah.
But occasionally a female is born. Occasionally a female is born, and there's a whole trans right thing. And it's like the 4th episode, they go into this whole trans rights agenda and do it so well.
It's brilliant.
It's just fantastic. I like the 4th episode. They don't even build up to it. It aired on Fox. Like, that's the network that espouses Trump. I don't know. It's just great.
It's great.
And you mentioned Ukrainians there. I must say I had a rather amusing time on Friday evening with my adopted Ukrainian family, telling them all the dad jokes that we've done on last Wednesday's show. And of course, because dad jokes are usually about puns or plays on words or double meanings for a word, like they just didn't get, and I was having to explain every single one. And then when I explain it, like 5 minutes later, they'd all start laughing. It was just so funny. This Satisfactory and bagel. They got the bagel one. I think that's the only one that they got sort of instantly. The rest all took a little bit of explaining. It was funny though.
Here, Monty. If Chewie is short for Chewbacca and Annie is short for Anakin, what is Luke short for?
I don't know.
A stormtrooper.
Very good. Very good.
Dear.
We did a lot of like really crap dad jokes. I discovered I'm rubbish at telling dad jokes on stream, and
we
failed
did
miserably.
loads. Everybody was putting them in chat.
Failed miserably at it, and So that reaction you got from the Ukrainian family, our Ukrainian friends, is the reaction I get from English-speaking people when I tell jokes. To be honest, so I know it well.
Tabby, I promise I wouldn't make any Thanksgiving dad jokes, but I can't go cold turkey.
Oh dear.
Yeah, very good. Okay, answers, Sean.
So where are we? So it was the night of Kieran. Someone can tell me what Kankor and Koloth have to do with each other?
They're all the Klingons from... Oh, go on, Tabby.
It's the little trio from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, they were in the original series
they
too.
Go on their blood oath mission to kill the albino.
But they are in Deep Space Nine again, and
Did you know, Tabby, those are all Klingons from the original series?
Yeah.
I got that when Kor was on his swan song mission, that they were referring to that.
They're the Dahar Masters, And,
the Dahar Masters.
The class of vessel was the Vorcha. I presume that's like a military ribbon. Whatever mission they survived, they got that.
Yeah.
What does Dahar mean? Yeah.
It's never explained, but they're all three of them are Dahar Masters. I presume they all survived the same battle, and like basically nobody did. That's my guess.
So we got is it Tabby? All of us again? Same deal. Same deal.
Yep, everybody.
Spinning the wheel.
Or maybe it's
everybody
like a
against the black hole.
Oh. Stuplum. Well done, Stuplum. Stew. Yes, so...
I don't have Dahar Master in my Klingon dictionary that I've got up in front of me here, so I thought I would be able to find it and tell you, but it doesn't have it here, I'm afraid. Sorry.
So Worf invites Kahless for a drink. He apologises for the not quite right taste of the replicator's attempt to do Klingon warnog, but Kahless can't tell the difference. He says that he has forgotten many things as it's been so long. Worf asks him about the next life. He wants to know what is there beyond this. What's it like at Sto-vo-kor? But Kahless has no answers, for he is a traveller between worlds, and whilst he's in this world, this is all he knows. Kahless wants Worf at his side as he forges a new empire. And Worf looks pretty proud of himself. Worf enthusiastically pitches this new approach to Gowron, but Gowron's not happy about this whole situation at all. He thinks that this is all Koroth's play to get his hands on the Empire. Gowron points out that as Kern sits at the council, Worf as the elder brother, his word can carry a lot of weight in the Empire. Koroth and his cronies want to use that influence with the rest of the council. Gowron reminds Worf they once stood together to defend the Empire. Now he wants him to stand by him again against this Kahless threat. But Worf's not listening. He in turn pleads Gowron to listen to Kahless and accept him in his heart, and he will restore your faith and lift your spirits. And Kahless looks at him, Gowron looks at him and he's like, what the fuck have you been smoking?
You got to go back to the shit scene.
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
The two ships not looking quite so friendly now. They've kind of separated their... maybe they had a little tiff or something.
No more kissy face.
No more kissy kissies.
No more peeking into the windows.
So Gowron goes to meet Kahless on the holodeck in a recreation of the temple on Boreth. He starts by insulting Koroth, telling him, I see that not all Klingons die young. Lols. It's a bit of an insult, that is, as far as Klingons go. Kahless then enters and ignores the introductions from Gowron, instead telling the story of a man who would not go inside the city walls of Quinlat when a storm blew. He faced the storm and ultimately was killed. He advises Gowron not to be the wind. And Gowron counters with that, what was the man's name? This floors Kahless, as he doesn't have a clue. He cannot give any other relevant information about the man or anything else other than what was contained within the texts. Sorry, Sean?
I said Rumpelstiltskin.
Rumpelstiltskin, yeah. He will not bend the knee to Kahless as long as he can pick up a blade and draw breath, so they fight. And, surprisingly, Gowron wins. Or not surprisingly. But Worf intersects before Gowron can land the killing blow.
Sorry, just pause on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you can see the symbol on the chair in that one. That's all I was going to say.
Oh, yes. Yes, you can see the symbols.
Still kind of looks like it's on greyish there, not yellow, but...
No, it's red at the back, behind, in the centre. It's red on yellow.
Yeah.
Even in high...
It looks like red on grey to me. Because
I'm talking the centre one.
Is it?
No, because we could see the actual... what it's normally like when we had the ships kissing a minute ago. When was that? That was here, wasn't it? Yeah, you can see that usually it's like... it's normally red and green on yellow.
Red.
But here it's like red on grey, which is unusual.
I was talking about the centre one, just kind of where shoulder blades meet at the back of the chair.
Yeah. Okay. There's Worf getting in the way of Gowron's killing blow. I love Gowron's eyes. They're like proper crazy, aren't they? And Gowron laughs.
That's why he got hired.
Yes, indeed.
The eyes.
Gowron
Not forgive or forget.
Yes. You will not forgive. He laughs, the greatest warrior of them all. And then wanders off. leaving them all scratching their heads at what just went wrong. And that's the end of the act. And question time.
That'll do us. Hold on, sorry, let me copy that again. Which city does Kahless say was the city with the windy day? Was it A, Kamchi, B, Tongbei, C, Quinlat, or D, Hevektar? And the bonus question, who eventually defeats Gowron in personal battle? Obviously, he wins this personal battle, he wins the personal battle in the Civil War, but eventually someone gets the better of him. Who is it?
Isn't the Windy City Chicago?
Well, the other Windy City, the Klingon one. Now, I will give you a clue. Tavi may have watched this episode today, so there's a chance she might get it
right. I'm copying Tavi's answer. She knows.
One of the only actual goofs in this entire episode was an audio issue as they come into the holodeck here. The holodeck doors close off screen, and the holodeck doors normally have like a kind of a but instead they did the of like the turbo lift doors, so it was the wrong
a whoosh rather than a
it was a whoosh rather than the clunk.
Yeah.
So they used the wrong sample basically. What else? Oh, yes.
No, go on, sorry. No, go keep going.
So, you just mentioned about the Chancellor saying, "Do not stand before the wind, Gowron." And coincidentally, Gowron meets his end 6 years later in an episode called Tacking into the Wind. So, that's kind of quite a nice little bookend there. And then the final thing I was going to mention is that Winrick Colby recalled that it was a difficult show to do because this, set that they have, which is the temple, inside of the temple, a lot of it's kind of a bit smoky some of the time. And he said that they were on stage 16. They spent 3 days there, totally smoked in order to get that sort of hazy effect. And he basically was just coughing all the time. And the special effects people kept telling them that it was non-poisonous and they might have just a slight irritant, but he actually had some kind of like heavy allergy to it.
Reaction.
Which meant that the show looked terrific. He thought it looked like a movie, but to him it was like spending 3 days in hell.
It does look good. That set does look good. It looks atmospheric. You know.
Yeah.
Do you know back in the day when they had snow on sets, and I'm talking into the 80s here, when they had like dusty snow coming down, do you know what they used? Asbestos. They used to grind up asbestos and blow it into the air to make it artificial snow.
Great idea.
Health and safety, so you couldn't imagine. I wouldn't go even for 5 minutes. I wouldn't go into a building where they were doing that now. But when you're watching It's a Wonderful Life and he's throwing the snow around, that's all asbestos. Health and safety was different back in the day. I was just going to say, I like the shot where they obviously open the doors and they walk in to show it's a holodeck that they're coming off TNG. But, and I only know this because of your Killibrand on Twitter, they have a set extension that, like a fake corridor wall, they can just put behind the doors to make it look like it's part of the ship anywhere they want. And it's 4 panels high, and the normal set is 3 panels high. And you can see the 4th panel, so you know it's just a set extension they've just put behind a wall to make it look a little bit of movie magic. But well done. But if it wasn't for Jorg, I wouldn't know that they'd done that. I think they just built it on the holodeck / shuttle bay set.
Yeah. My favourite one of that is when they walked off the bridge into the turbo lift, carried on the conversation, and then the turbo lift doors opened and they stepped out into a corridor. Because they did it all in one shot, but they just like quickly brought on that wall on the bridge in front of the door. So it looked like they stepped out.
Adjusted the lights and they went out in 40 seconds later,
Yeah, just nicely done. Nicely done.
Love it.
Okay, so answers then, Sean.
Yeah, lovely stuff. So, it was C. Quinlot, and it was Worf. And even Wookiee got that one right.
Well,
he got
Wookiee
dwarf.
put dwarf.
Is he going dwarf or is he going dwarf? I think he got it right.
Red
Some
dwarf.
unprecedented territory here.
I
Red
think
dwarf.
he was just making a joke.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
I've never talked about that show before.
Never. Okay, so...
Abby is furiously writing Chief Red Dwarf in the chat. Sorry, go on.
Spinning the wheel, everybody got the answer bonus question right, so here you go. Ooh, it's gonna be Mazza.
Hey!
Well done, Maz.
You're the only one that hasn't won one tonight, Monty.
It's just not my night tonight. I've had a couple of weeks of getting a few, a couple of spins, but not tonight. Not tonight. Okay, we're on to Act 5. We're on to the final act of the evening. We're nearly there. Nearly there. So,
with such a lack of data, this is getting very painful. I couldn't understand why I was so interested when I was watching it. I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I don't know why. And I'm like, not enough data.
There's still one or two more shots you got left. It's all right. We'll still see him before we go. So Kahless, Worf and the clerics go back to Kahless's quarters, and the clerics scheme that they will now need to spin this, that maybe Gowron cheated. But they kind of forget that Worf's in the room and he's honourable, and he tells them that is a lie. Koroth tries to shut up the son of Moog, but it doesn't work. Now the monkey is out of the box. Worf has seen too much. He doesn't show any of the detail of any of the stories. He doesn't know what their drinks taste like. He doesn't fight like the greatest warrior. This is all a lie. Again, Koroth tries to shut Worf up, but Worf tells him he is using the name of Kahless in some twisted game, and for that he should die. And if he doesn't come clean right now, he will kill him where he stands. Worf likes to threaten to kill people where they stand.
If you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand.
Yeah.
Knife must be drawn here.
You shall not pass. Oh, it's a different film. Koroth finally admits to Kahless that the gaps in his memory are down to the method of his return. The priest used Kahless's original genetic material to create a clone. Oh my god. Never considered that. All of his memories were actually programmed in from the sacred texts or from personal information that the priests had with them. Worf is shocked and outraged. He tells him he was grown in a test tube like a fungus and was programmed like a computer. Yes. It kind of reminds me of like when when Crichton finds out Lister's an android as well. You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, them scrubbing toilets and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he asks him to make sandwiches, and he makes a little lodge out of them.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But the priest
so
tell
I only
him...
had a few minutes.
Yeah. Oh, we've had Red Dwarf reference already. God damn it! But the priest, but the priests tell him they did it all to reunite the Klingon people, as the Empire is full of corruption. Who is to say that this is not how the prophecy was supposed to be fulfilled? Who is to say they did anything wrong? Worf tells them that he is to say, and he will not let this fraud continue. Koroth pleads with Worf not to destroy their people. Back down in the holodeck, Data reports that some of the Klingons have refused to return to Gowron's ship. They are waiting to see Kahless again. Yes, they don't care. They want to see their idol. Worf thinks they are all fools. Data is curious. If he no longer believes this is to be Kahless, does he still believe he will return? Or has his faith crisis deepened further? Then Data admits something interesting. He admits that once he had a crisis of faith. When he was discovered by the humans who found him, they treated him as if he was a simple machine. He decided to believe that he was actually a person, more than the sum of his processors. He did this by making a leap of faith, and it's brought him to where he is today. That's interesting because Data earlier on said he couldn't believe in anything other than empirical scientific proof.
Yeah.
And now, kind of admits to Worf.
Earlier statement.
Kind of admits to Worf, but basically his whole being is based around the faith that he is a person.
Well, so, I would argue that Data's slightly wrong here. Don't shoot me, Tabby. Because science comes out of philosophy, because philosophy, thinking about how the world worked and why the world worked, eventually evolved into the more structured science. And Descartes, of course, said, I think, therefore I am. You know, and that's pretty much what he's saying here. He doesn't say it in those words, you know. I think I am, therefore I must be, because if I wasn't thinking I am, therefore I'm not. Anyway, look, you can tie yourself in knots with this stuff.
You can, because then it goes into the whole, did you think, or did the thought come to you? And did that thought come from somewhere else?
Well, yeah, well, clearly, it must have come from me because it's me. I think, therefore I am. Because if I'm conscious enough to be able to think about these questions if I did or didn't say it, but therefore I did, because otherwise my brain wouldn't be working. That's pretty much... it's not a full degree on Descartes, and people have done PhDs on him, but that's the general point of it. So yeah, I don't think it's a leap of faith at all, and yeah, it's a bit of clumsy writing. They should just quote Descartes and get on with it. Nerd. Goodbye, Data. In the observation lounge,
says, I am a person.
I am a person. Very good, Stupid. Very good.
And Mr. T says, yo, mama's so big, Gandalf let her pass. It's random. Random, yo, mama.
Yo, mama. Yo, mama.
Go to sleep, sweetie.
in the observation lounge, the Klingons gather, and Worf tells Gowron that Kahless is a clone. And Gowron's like, I knew it, those sons of a bitches. I'll kill you all. But
did anyone ever notice Gowron's forehead looks like the Klingon emblem? Just me? Okay, never mind.
I'm glad you said that and not said it looks like something else. I was wondering where you were going with that for a minute.
It does look like an upside down something else, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
okay. I'll come back to that at the end of the show.
Upside down
modelled, but yeah.
It cannot be
I'll come back to that at the end of the show. Please move on.
You know, the Klingons have redundancy systems, so the ladies definitely have two lineups.
Wow, there we go. Yes, that would be it, wouldn't it? That's exactly what it would look like. Anyway.
But it's weird how, like, there must have been different makeup people on this day, because earlier, Gowron's headpiece looked very definitely like there was a big chunky line where it met his face, but now it's sort of blended in really nicely. Like, I think whoever a couple of days ago had done his makeup didn't do quite as good a job as whoever did it today.
Yeah.
I would argue Michael Westmore, that the chief makeup guy, probably did most of the makeup for the Klingons, but in an episode with multiple Klingons, he probably had to let other people do it, and that's probably why it wasn't quite right. You know, like he was letting his interns do it, and obviously it wasn't as good.
But you have to imagine for this episode they had to have just chairs of people. It's like just plaster the foreheads on, plaster them on.
Yeah, well, it takes 4 hours to do the makeup, and they all have to be ready at the same time. So he can't do multiple Klingons. He can only do one. So he's used to doing Worf every day. If there's 2 Klingons, he can definitely do 2. But if there's 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 in an episode, he definitely has to use other people who aren't used to doing it as well. I'd imagine that's all it is. But this was a one-on-one scene with only 2 Klingons, so we probably did both.
Yes, maybe this prosthetic was mistaken for a chair and was sat on. Molded.
Well, do you know Worf's forehead changed between first and second season because
it was stolen?
The original.
Yes.
Yeah, never turned up.
No, never turned up.
Did you see the story with the 3-foot model of the Enterprise the other day?
Yes, I did. It was amazing.
Someone went into a Storage Wars someone went into a Storage Wars and bought a storage unit, and they saw an old model of an Enterprise. They listed on eBay for $1,000. Turned out it was the original model of the Enterprise they used to pitch to show to the studios. And it was used in some filming shots.
It was used in the cage.
eBay for $1,000.
Yeah.
But apparently it was stolen from the Roddenberrys, and they want it back and don't want to pay for it. It was the whole thing. But
yeah,
anyway,
Michael Okuda.
$1,000.
Michael Okuda has gotten involved in everything, and they took the eBay post down, and they're now in discussions with the person.
They give them a finder's fee of 10 or 50 grand, but it's worth. I mean, it should be in the Smithsonian. It's worth, the couple
it's
grand.
Immeasurable, really. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a hell of a story that is. But at least it's come up. At least we've got the 3-foot original model back. I mean, that's
it could
amazing.
be lost forever.
Could have been.
It's not. It's back.
It's back. Yeah, great. Yes, so Gowron, you sons of a bitches, I'll kill you all. But Worf tells him it no longer matters. The monkey's out of the box. Rumour has spread throughout their people, and they do need to believe in something. They can even tell them the truth, but that doesn't matter either. They will be following their own faith. Kahless should be a figurehead to the spiritual heart of their people and help lead them into more honourable lives. Worf thinks they should tell the people the truth and that where he came from, and let them know that even if he is not Kahless, he is the rightful heir to Kahless. And if Gowron doesn't go along with it, the sons of Moog will fight him. So Kahless finds that this idea of him being an emperor in name only and the sort of spiritual head of the Klingon people acceptable. And eventually they all bow to their new Kahless, including even Gowron, who goes along with it too. And so then, once declaring a new emperor, Worf takes him to the transporter room and says goodbye and leaves. I think that's brilliant. He puts him on the transport pad and goes, goodbye. And walks out.
Not even Kapla.
No.
Goodbye.
Nothing ceremonial about it, just goodbye.
And do you know the meaning behind the longer meaning of goodbye? It comes from God be with you.
Is it?
So saying God be with you to his God is a bit... It doesn't really make sense.
On our nose.
But Worf's heart is empty again. Kahless reminds him that the original Kahless left them an honourable legacy, and as long as they follow the teachings, they honour him. And they make him real, whether he really returns or not. And with that, he transports over to Gowron's ship. And that's the end of the episode. Done. A final question time.
Okay, so question 5. Was there enough data in this episode? A, too much data. B, not enough data. C, it needs more data. D, there was never enough. E, he's no lore. And the bonus question. 27 years ago today, First Contact premiered. Name a Voyager actor who appeared in this film. Now there are 2, and if you get both, you get 2 entries on the wheel instead of 1. I'm gonna double it up.
I can't remember his I know
or even a character name is fine. The Voyager character name is perfectly fine. I'll accept that.
Okay, well I can do that. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember his actual name though.
Yeah, 27 years ago today. Doesn't feel like 20. I remember going up I remember going up to Dublin on a shopping trip, and I was in the hotel room, and all my family were somewhere else. And I saw.
Yes.
And I saw the clip of the Borg Queen kind of coming down and shifting into the body and flipping on and walking away. And I was telling my brother about it after he came back, and I was trying to describe it to him, but no YouTube, you couldn't tell him. Yeah, but I was like, it just came down, and then she just walked away. Like, I was like 11 or something, and it was like, I was getting so excited about it. Yeah, because it probably came out around February here. But yeah, 27 years ago today in America it came out. There you go.
David Attenborough's brother was tried for claiming he was Santa Claus, not for hanging around with kids. Different time, huh? Richard Attenborough. Dickie. From Jurassic Park. They spared no expense.
Oh, Miracle on 34th Street. That's what he was referring to.
Ah.
Okay. Right.
Right.
Took me a second too, yeah.
Right. With you. Yes, Robert Picardo, of course, not only... What's it called? What's Neelix called? Is it Ethan something? No.
Ethan
Oh,
Phillips.
yes.
Ethan...
Yeah.
But
what's it? Ethan Phillips?
But he's sometimes referred to as Johnny Phillips because that's... He does an impression of Johnny Carson, and that's kind of where that comes from.
He does?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I realise we
so
don't know Johnny
Stuplum
Carson
hasn't
either.
answered yet, so let's not give any answers quite yet.
Tribs?
Tribs. Tavi's changed her mind after looking it up.
What? They said there were two.
Did you say there were two?
You don't have to mention one of them, wasn't
No,
it?
there are two, yeah. No, I said if you mention both, you get 2 spots on the wheel.
Ah, right. I see.
That's
I
I didn't hear that.
Didn't realise that.
All right.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't clear enough on that. Sorry, I'm changing all the rules.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I don't have much in the way of trivs. With just that, the guy who plays Torin, Norman Snow, wasn't in any other Trek. When pitching the story, James E. Brooks dubbed it Jurassic Worf, because obviously they brought back a clone of something that died a long time ago.
And we just talked about Dickie Attenborough.
Yeah, I know. Coinkydink. Garon says there's not been a Klingon emperor in 300 years. According to Moore, the previous reference to a contemporary emperor in Sins of the Father was just throwaway before they firmly established the structure of the Klingon government in Reunion. And then finally, Deanna Troi and Geordie LaForge were not in this episode. They were, however, both in deleted lines found in the script. And also, according to the call sheet, Marina Sirtis also filmed a scene in the shuttle bay, which was also not used in the episode. And Alexander's absence was explained as a visit to Worf's adoptive parents on Earth, although I don't remember that actually being in the episode. I'm guessing it was explained away when challenged afterwards or something like that.
Go on then, answers, Sean.
Yeah. Was there enough data in this episode? It was A, too much data.
What?
No, just waiting for Tommy. No, it was D. There was never enough. And yes, and the 2 actors were Ethan Phillips and Robert Picardo. Or said Neelix in the EMH. That is correct, although obviously it's a different version of the EMH. And Ethan plays a maitre d', a host.
He does.
Front of house, receptionist person.
Indeed.
His head goes all wobbly when scrambled by the Borg.
In the holodeck.
Do you have a reservation?
Yeah.
In the holodeck,
They tried to assimilate a hologram and go, what? Yeah. Not Tim Russ. No, unfortunately not Ruth.
No, he's in Generations, but he's not in First Contact.
He is, yes.
But I just saw today, just as putting the questions together, it was the 27th anniversary of First Contact, and I said, I'm going to put in a First Contact question.
I think everybody got some of the bonus questions, apart from Stuplum. I don't think Stuplum's on the...
So we're saying that D was the correct answer, are we, to the previous question?
Oh, I said
Or
B.
Or E.
D, there is never enough. It was the question I went for. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, you can go with E if you want.
But B, not enough
actually,
data. C, need more data. D, there's never enough. I mean, they're all like kind of the
actually,
same.
anything other than A, basically.
Anything other than
anything other than A.
So if you said there was too much data, you were wrong. But I can accept any of the other answers.
Right.
I'm not sure we should put A.
Right, I'm going to spin.
Sorry, I could have made that. I could have made that clearer earlier. Go on.
I'm spinning the wheel.
Did you put some people down twice and other people down once?
No, I can't be bothered.
Okay.
It's Massa McBob!
Oh. Me again.
You've been lucky with the old wheel this evening, haven't you?
Well, I got it twice, and Ruth got it twice, and Tubby got it once, and Stu Plum got it once. You're the only one that didn't get it at all, I'm afraid.
I wasn't lucky with the wheel this evening. I wasn't lucky with the wheel.
You
there
did
you
it
go.
all on the other night. You got to spread it out.
I know. I bolted my wheel load early.
Well, game theory kind of suggests spreading it out wouldn't do you any favors because you just end up second and third all the time. You want a really lucky night and then a really bad night.
Yeah, at least
you want to sacrifice a few and win a few.
That's right. Okay, so as that's the end of the episode, the end of the quiz, no more bingo. So if you want to tot up those points, the bingo points, we'll add it all together and we'll put it on the sheet and see how we've done this evening. In the meantime, if anybody in live chat, if you want to start thinking about what you'd give this episode out of 10, let us know in live chat. What would you score this episode out of 10?
And like the video.
Like, subscribe, name me in your will.
Yeah.
Name your child after me.
Create second account and like it and subscribe again.
Was Smiler Rainbow in for a moment? I heard her voice, but does that count for bingo?
Oh yeah, she's around. She got me wine, so you know that's.
Oh yeah, she did at the beginning. After that.
She's saying hello from another room in the house. I can hear her in the background. Hello, Mia. I said hello.
Actually, I'll tell you a brief story. I was my middle name is Michael, so I was living in a house with a girl when I was 17.
Was it in the country?
And
was it a big house?
No, it was in the no. Anyway,
I'm living in a house, a very big house in the country. No.
She got pregnant when I was there, and I left the house and I lost contact with her. She was like 18, and a bit of a crisis, pregnancy, whatever, but keeping it because Catholic Ireland. Bumped into her like 5 years later in work, and I was kind of chatting to her, and he goes, "What happened?" She goes, "Oh, I lost that kid," and I go, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was like, "But I have one other one now, and I named him Sean." Right? And she says that to me, like I had nothing to do with her, and then she goes, "Sean Michael." So she got my first name and middle name. I was like,
cracking.
I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, nothing to do with me. It's all right."
Oh my god, I didn't get any bingo points.
There's my rambling, chief rambling story.
It's very good. I'm liking your chief rambling story.
But the fact she got my middle, my first and middle name right. I know it's Catholic Ireland and Michael is common, but still, that was something special.
And she lived in a house, a very big house in the country.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, we've no Chief Blur. Sorry about that. Or Chief Britpop.
No.
Who's Orn, Tavi?
Orn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Skip my guy.
P. Orn.
His middle name is Aaron. His middle name is Eagle.
Right. Well, we learn something new every episode. It's great. It's like lore building,
I like lore building.
Yeah.
The more lore we have, the better.
Always. Couple of episodes time. We'll have a lot more lore.
Sorry, Tav?
I said I don't think the Enterprise appreciated lore building.
No.
Not so much.
Not so much. Okay. Have we got scores then, Mazima Bob?
Yep.
Let's have them.
So, tops with 435 points is Duncan.
Now, pretty much unassailable lead.
Yeah. Next was a draw, but unfortunately I got slightly more in the bingo. So that split the difference between myself and Ruth. So I'm next with 9 points, and Ruth is after that with 8 points.
Woohoo! Bingo tiebreaker.
Then next is Monty Ban with 7 points. And Stu Plum slipped a little bit, having not answered the last question correctly, which obviously has 120 points. So Stu Plum comes in 5th place with 6 points. And then next with, as kind of non-quiz players, but most points on the bingo, is Gudjon with 5 points on the leaderboard. And then drawing behind him are Smiler and Andrew with 4 points each.
There we go. So a little bit of a shuffle around in the top 3 places there. Nothing major. Just vying for that second spot, really. Let's just get this done. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, gosh.
You didn't mean to do that.
I didn't mean to do that. Meant to do that. So that puts Stu Plum down to 3rd place, and Ruth and I now drawing in 2nd. All level. Oh, there we go.
Pretty close.
It's pretty close for the 2nd and 3rd spot.
But I still win because I have an extra 100 Smiler points.
You still win because of your extra 100 points. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you got your paddles? Are you ready with some storage?
Yars.
Okay.
Yarp.
Yerp.
Oh, Ruth's not going to be here for a couple of minutes.
Have you understood that reference?
Oh no. We will miss you, Ruth, lovely Ruth. We shall miss you.
Yeah, that's kind of possibly an issue because, Sean, did you say you're not here next week?
I'll be here next week. I'll be late. I'll be on around 9.
Right.
I am not available next week. I'll be travelling up to Bedford for my other half's brother's birthday on the Wednesday. So I was going to say, if we're both not here, maybe Ruth will want to step in, but she's not here either.
She's not here either.
Oh, Monty, do you want to call it? Do you want to go past next week, or do you want yourself and Tavi to continue on? I'll be on around 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll continue on. Tavi, are you up for doing the quiz?
Yeah, I was wondering, did I do the quiz? I'm not too good with the scoring.
You do the quiz and the goofs and the trivia.
You just got to do all that, all right? So it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
What? It's all right. We can chat about it afterwards.
We'll sort
you
it
and
out.
Homer, you can pass me the goofs and I'll read them out.
Yeah.
I don't
know. We can do that.
That's true. I can do a bit of prep for you. No problem.
I can help with that. Okay. Right. So are you ready for the scoring for this episode?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. 6, 8, 6, 5. I think that's right. 6, 8, 6, 5. 6, 8, 5, 6. And what's the average
and
from...
we have a 5 and a 5 and a 6 in chat, which is 5.3, so that's a 5 rounded down.
Okay, so that's an average of 6, which I think for this season is kind of below average, slightly below average for that one, which I think maybe possibly I was being a bit harsh, but for me, I mean, I liked the cinematography in this episode. I thought the shots of like the Klingon.
Oh, that's Monty.
Yeah, was that me?
Oh no, you're back. We're back. Okay.
Sorry.
I lost you for a second there.
Yeah, I think that might have been a little glitch on my end. Yeah. Yeah, I think the cinematography of like the Klingon monastery and things was really good. It was very atmospheric, and the lighting was great, and I thought the direction was great. I just felt that kind of like if I was living in Star Trek world and this happened, I'd be going, could he be a clone? This is the kind of first thing that would pop into my head. And
we've seen clones so many times.
They kind of mentioned everything else except for could he be a clone? And then when they say at the end, he's a clone, everybody's like, oh my God. It's kind of like, wouldn't that be the first thing you'd think he is? But...
And guess what happens in next week's episode?
What's next week's episode?
Second Chances.
Oh!
Where we have Thomas Riker. And
spoiler alert. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing, isn't it? It's like these things happen. You don't need to be even like Riker kind of annoyed me in the observation lounge where Worf's like, well, he could be Kahless. And kind of Riker scoffs that he doesn't believe in anything supernatural. But it doesn't need to be something supernatural, does it, in this day and age? I mean, he could have been...
the other week.
He could have been in suspended animation, or it could be, like there's all sorts of ways and things where they brought people back, or duplicated people, or stuff like that. So it's like they make
timey-wimey travel.
Timey-wimey travel.
Get out your time crystal.
Pop
That
around.
was one of the first things I thought. I was like, why didn't they just say maybe this is another temporal thing? And I'm like, you guys have had like 10 things happen to you that would make this extremely feasible.
Yeah. So I just felt there were so many little plot holes like that just sort of took me out of the episode. So I think it's still above average. It's still above a 5. There's still a lot of good things about it, but just didn't quite push it up to that high figures for me.
Do you remember that time there was a weird Picard clone on the bridge or on the ship when he's starting to sing songs and 10 forward? Everything. They ran every test on him. He's still playing.
Oh no! Yeah. Yeah, that one.
Mazram's Duplan.
Mazram.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I love Worf, and it was a Worf episode, and you got to see him wearing some really great outfits, and he got his back left out, which really gets me all excited. Yeah, he did his googly eyes, and and there was lots that build out the the Klingon lore, which is like kind of quite a mega important episode from that perspective, which is then sort of continues a story arc into season 7 and into Deep Space Nine. And as Tavi pointed out, his hair looks really great in this episode.
Look at his hair.
It's a bit more like how he has it in Deep Space Nine.
He needs to wear. He needs to like do a hair commercial, doesn't he, with hair like that?
Yeah, it's cool hair.
I think about how wonderful his hair is.
And like you say, I like the sets, and I thought it was a lot more cinematic than normal. There was some action. There was some good extras.
Batleth.
Yeah, I just really, really enjoyed it as an episode.
Love a Batleth.
Batleth. That gives at least an extra 2 or 3 points. So yeah, I loved it.
It's good. It's good. It's definitely not. It's not a bad episode. I think it's a good episode. What about you guys, Tavi? What do you think?
I think it was, for me. It was just it was all right. I did like more of the Klingon stuff, but the Klingons seem very 2-dimensional to me still. And I know Maz is gonna hate me, but I hate the Batleths.
What?
Yeah.
It's a bit of beauty.
They look so clumsy and unfeasible. Like me thinking, like,
oh my gosh, man,
you're like doing all this weird, like, rowboat stuff to fight with it, as opposed to just direct fighting.
Rowboat.
It just. It's like that's all they're doing. And it looks to me, it looks like they're wasting a lot of energy. And I'm thinking, if you actually attacked a wild animal with that thing, it would tear you apart by the time you've gotten back to the other side to swing it around. So I
the
don't
whole
know.
surface is one big blade, so you just hold it up and it tries to slash it, it just slices his hand off the thing.
I've seen many YouTube videos that actually analyze the batleth from a fighting weapon standpoint as to how useful it is or isn't, and weapon experts actually come down quite favorably for a batleth. They suggest that there's some like newer designs of a batleth where like there's a point going the other way and you can basically stab yourself in the leg, but because the points go the way they do, it's you can't really hurt yourself with it, and yet you've got some handy things that you can do offensively. It's useful defensively because you can almost use it like a full-on shield, and the multiple handholds as well mean that you can wield it in multiple different ways.
You can hold it by the corner and slice under someo's leg. Or
I still feel like if you had a sword, you'd kill somebody quickly with a batleth.
Yeah, well,
because it is. I know I've seen the documentaries where they've got like an actual sword, blacksmith to create the weapon, and he's out there doing the rowboat thing. And I'm like, the second you come up, someone's gonna stab you in the gut. If they're not doing it's like it only works if you're fighting with another batleth. It seems it's just too.
I suppose you could argue, a samurai sword only works if nobody comes at you with a gun. It's part of the culture, so that's probably where it's.
And like the whole going like this, it's like somebody twirling nunchucks or something. There's a martial arts element of showboatery about it. That's kind of one of
it's about
the points, really. But
I guess so. But
they are
just
beautifully designed. How can you look at it and say you think it's just so beautiful? It's so pretty.
I'm the exact opposite. So I guess I'm one of those people that has an unpopular opinion. But when I see the batleth, I'm like, oh, that goofy looking thing again. But
Tavikan's unpopular opinions.
Well, I mean, you take an ancient martial art like karate and you put it up against someone who does Krav Maga, and Krav Maga will win every time. Krav Maga is just basically run him over and grab him by the nuts and twist.
Yeah.
So that's just gonna win. And it's like, there's no honor in death if What's the point of being honorable and dead? Grab the nuts and twist him. Battle's over.
For the rest of the show,
there's no rules on the street.
I thought it was an okay, but I thought it was awkward with the senior officers, what they were saying to Worf, and then of course the Data saying one thing in the beginning, and then at the end I was like, okay, you don't understand faith, but now you do because you have it. And I'm like,
yes, that was another like a little bit of a niggle thing with me in this episode. Data was very inconsistent.
It was like it seemed contrived, like they needed someone to come in with that message in the beginning and the end, but they weren't thinking. I was thinking, were there two different writers on those parts, and they just didn't read through the whole script and realize that they had contradicting elements? And once again, like the Klingons seem two-dimensional to me because it's like, we are warriors, the end. And I'm like, well, I'm sure you have doctors and all these other things, and those planes didn't get
doctors and farmers and engineers and physicists.
So they just seem like caricatures of a species. Like, this is just us and the honor, and that is all we do. And I'm like, that's all you do. Okay. So for me, it was like, it was good because you get the religion.
I don't think they do have doctors. I think if they get sick, you're just weak and you'd be just left to perish. That would be just their way. It'd be just like, you're weak, go kill yourself now. I think that's the way they would deal with it. I just don't think they would have doctors. I just don't think that would be a thing. They got duplicates of everything, so they're very durable, aren't they? And if they end up being weak, they'll just end up being taken out by their underlings or whatever for career progression.
Yeah, like the Spartans. If you give birth to a disabled child, they just leave it at the edge of the town for the wolves. That was the way. It's harsh, but it's true. That's what they did.
Yeah.
But I mean, later on in Deep Space Nine, they do fill that out a bit more, but not as much as I would like.
There's a bit where in Deep Space Nine where the one, I think, not the emissary, but the one with the other emissary, the opening episode's called The Emissary, where they think there's a new emissary, and Kira just accepts it, and Odo goes, your fate's just got you a bit of a contradiction, and Kira goes, well, that's the thing about fate. If you don't have it, you need an explanation. And if you do have it, no explanation is necessary. I'm paraphrasing. That's roughly what she says. And that's the point, You either believe or you don't. And if you believe, you don't need an explanation. And if you don't believe, well, then no amount of explanation is going to solve it for you. Unless, well, beyond proof, really high standards. So that's pretty much it.
I think that's my biggest gripe of the episode, really, is Worf's complete lack of what faith is.
Yeah.
I have no faith. I've lost my faith. Here's scientific proof that it's Kahless. I found my faith again. Oh, we created him because he's a clone. Damn it! I've lost my faith again. It's like, you're not getting this at all, are you?
he doesn't need faith of the science. He needs faith of the heart.
Yes. Yeah. It's been a long road. Getting from there to here.
Getting from there to here, yeah.
It's been a long time. The time's finally here. Yeah. That cursed song stays with me. It stays with me.
One of the reasons why I don't want to deal with Enterprise, because the skip intro does not come in fast enough.
I'm looking forward to getting to Enterprise again one day, because I think I might like it now. I always hated it and thought it was abysmal Star Trek, but now I've seen Discovery. I think I might go back and look at Enterprise and really appreciate it and be like, this is proper Star Trek.
Do you think we'll be doing this show for another 8 or 9 years or however long it takes to get that far?
Well, I don't really mean in terms of the show. I just mean my next rewatch of a Star Trek series, when I get round to rewatching Enterprise.
Well, season 1 and season 2 are great TOS-style episodic Trek. Season 3 is an absolute shit show, and they get into all that time travel stuff. And season 4 is them trying to save the show, and it gets great again. But yeah, it was good from the start. They just lost faith. Pardon the pun.
The irony.
But apparently, the reason for all the time travel and the time war stuff was to just, if the show wasn't going well, the producers in typical Hollywood fashion is like, how do we bring back the TNG characters to boost the ratings? Like, we can't, it's 100 years ago. But we need to bring them back. It's like, we can't, it's 100 years ago. And they wouldn't commission the show if there wasn't some time travel element to explain how they could bring them all back. They didn't end up using it quite right. Oh, they obviously brought Brent back, but outside of that was the whole reason for it, and it completely hobbled the show. Just studio interference.
Yeah. Wookie says he used to really hate it, but Scott Bakula rules. So I like Quantum Leap. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, it's good.
Tried the new one, not a fan, but the original.
No, new one.
Yeah, I watched that recently. It was all right. I thought.
What, the new one?
Amazing, but not terrible. Yeah, it's pretty much similar to the old one, but without Scott Bakula, which is not so
Dean
good.
Stockwell is dead.
Yeah. No hitting Ziggy with a cigar in his hand.
We were talking about SG-1 and things the other day.
Yeah.
I was having a look to see which sci-fi series I had on like Prime or Netflix or on, basically on my phone. So I like things that I can carry around with me as I'm doing housework and stuff. And I found one that we hadn't discussed, but oh my God, it is such a stonkingly great sci-fi series that has just been blowing my socks off. It's the first time I've rewatched it. And that's Falling Skies with Noah Weil.
Yeah.
It's just so good. Like, it's epic. It's got this real feel to it,
It gets a bit silly in season
really
3, but the first 2 seasons are very good.
It's a bit like The Walking Dead, isn't it? In a way.
In a lot of respects, yeah.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah.
Without the gore of the Walking Dead stuff, but
the Massachusetts Second or whatever they're called. It's just
Second Mass.
The Second Mass.
Second Mass.
Yeah.
And they're scrambling for food and trying to hide from the aliens. There's only a couple of hundred
mechs and skitters. It's just great. I'm just really, really enjoying it. So
did they ever finish it?
Put it out there for those of you that's forgotten about it. Did what?
Did they ever finish it? Like with a satisfying conclusion?
I think so. But I'm on season 4 at the moment, and it goes up to season 5. So I'll find out shortly and tell you, because this is like I say, it's my first rewatch from when it was originally made, which was like early 2000s, wasn't it? It's quite a while ago now.
Yeah.
So I don't fully remember how it ends, but I am really enjoying it for sure.
Yeah, the story got too big for me in the 4th or 5th seasons. I kind of gave up on it. Another show you might like is Jericho. It doesn't have a sci-fi element. So I don't know if you ever heard of Jericho. There's a town called Jericho, and a number of nuclear bombs are set off all across America, and all the major cities are destroyed, and all the communication is gone, and this little town has to fend for itself. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's very much in the same vein without the sci-fi element, and it's kind of more of a conspiracy X-Files kind of thing. And I highly recommend Jericho if you get a chance.
Wookie was saying earlier about the latest season of Fargo. I think it's season 5, did you say? And that's really enjoying that. I must admit, I love the Fargo film, and when the series came out, I did start watching it. I think I've seen the first series or 2, and then I just kind of forgot about it. So it would be good to pick that one up again. So thanks for reminding me.
I haven't seen Fargo.
Yeah,
it's great. It's got what's his face? That the one from like the Marvel films who plays that FBI agent who helps them, the colonizer.
Yeah. So he actually comes in for the series.
Yeah, he's the main character in this. Oh no, what is that his name? Oh, I thought he's got something else. But I thought he was the main guy in the series, isn't he?
I think so. I think he's in the series. I think that's the series because I'm remembering a lot of episodes. Maybe I haven't seen the movie properly. I don't know. Was Billy?
Yeah, he's not in the movie. I don't think. Somebody else in the movie.
Series. It was with like Billy Bob Thornton as the antagonist eventually.
Yeah. It was, what's he called? Jerry Lungard was like in the original film.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I've never seen it. So
when they say his name, because they're like Nygaard, a lot of Norwegians go insane because that area is populated by a lot of descendants of Norwegian and Swedish people, and they've forgotten how to speak their language and like even how to say the name. So when you say like Nygaard, and I'm like, no, your name is Nygård, and they'll say like Ufta and everything, which is very Norwegian.
Martin Freeman, that's who I'm on about. Yeah.
So, and when I went out there, when I was in the States for a wedding, it was very, very funny because you see all these Scandinavian memories that are still there in their daily life. They're doing it, but they have no idea what it means. So when we came from Norway for the wedding, we're like, that's actually Norwegian and you're doing that. And they're like, really? Please tell me more. And it was really exciting. And to translate the little sayings that they would have. Because they didn't realize that it also meant something in Norwegian. So it was just very fun. But, shows like Fargo, you get to see that there's a lot of Scandinavian people out there. And it's like, oh, wow, no, your name is actually like this. And like old man something or old whatchamacallit, that's actually a name in Norway. It's Ola, not old, like old man Winter or old man Farley or whatever. It's Ola. As a name, but Americans don't remember.
Yeah, well, you get a lot.
So Ewan McGregor was in one series.
Ted Danson's in a series. Chris Rock.
Yeah, I was going to say, Wookie's saying each series is a different era.
Colin
so I'm
Hanks.
guessing that's why each person's only in 10
they're
or
all in
11
every 10 episodes. Right? Yeah, it's like those different people in every 10 episodes. That's weird, isn't it?
Interesting. I might have only seen the first series then. Did I Freeman being in it?
Wookiee's asking if I'm claiming to be indigenous to Norway. I don't know. Maybe did I say something that sounded like I was implying that I was? Or no, I'm not indigenous to Norway.
Well, okay. Fargo goes onto my list of things to watch. Something I'd recommend.
I just cancelled early, but what of it came out is very good.
What were you going to recommend, Monty?
I was just going to say, just reminded me, that's all, that talking about Fallen Skies stars Will Patton as the captain, you know. I think he's got like one arm or something. He's like the head of the second mass. He's like Weaver, that's it, Weaver. He is in a show on Apple TV. You need Apple TV to see it, but it's called Silo. Where there's kind of a futuristic thing where the whole of humanity now lives in a silo underground, because if you go out on the surface, you just die within a minute, and it's full of intrigue. Cool. Is it? Will you really die?
Silo.
Are you being lied to? You know, and if anybody gets close to the top, the more powerful you are, the closer to the surface you live, and the people at the top are sort of powerful and try to lead everyone astray, and it's just full of intrigue. But it's got the same guy, that guy, Will Patton. He like plays a sheriff in it. Like it's a pretty good show.
There was an SG1 episode like that.
Ruth says she's been reading the trilogy that Silo is based on. She's on the third book. It's really good.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I don't know whether it's anything like the books.
Oh,
I hope it is.
Choopy poopy.
Yeah, Choo Choo's gone for sleepies. Right. Anyway, it's been lovely chatting to you all. Next week we got Second Chances with maybe just myself and Tavykins. So you guys are gonna miss out on that one. Sean, you'll be with us at some point.
I'll come in. I have a committee meeting. Being around 9.
Yeah. Hopefully, Maz, maybe you'll be able to join us on your phone briefly whilst talking to your...
Yeah, I should be able to just check in and say hello. But I imagine we'll be like out at an Italian restaurant or something.
Something like that.
Jamie's birthday dinner.
Yes, well, I'll say happy birthday to Jamie for me. And yes, thank you to Ruth for sticking with us, and to Wookiee, Mr. Tavykins. I hope you have a nice night's sleep. I think he's probably already in bed. Good evening to Stu Plum. Thank you for coming along. The two Andys, Andy Sample and Andy Steeth. Yes, and thank you to anyone else who's watching us after the live show's been out. If you have seen this and you've answered any questions, please put how well you did in chat. And yes, we will see you next week. Have a good week, everyone. Take care of yourself. Cheers.
Ta-ra!